We are back, ladies and gentlemen, back again with another Smackdown review, and today we got ourselves another very good episode of Smackdown, but we've also got ourselves a bit of a dilemma. We've had 3 heel turns. At least one of them was explained, the other one really didn't, to me, really didn't do much of anything. And we also had Edge. We also saw Edge on the show. This is really making me think he's going to pick Roman, but we'll dive into everything, and we'll talk over everything that happened. So the show began with Edge. He came out, he talked about something. I didn't really see the whole promo. I was actually getting a shower. I was in the shower. I was getting ready for my girlfriend to come over. My girlfriend came over while Smackdown was on. So, yeah, I was getting ready to see my girlfriend again for the first time in ages when this segment took place. But I did see some of it. Roman was there, Edge was there, Sammy came out, he was talking all this nonsense. And then he said, I'm going to be pointing at the WrestleMania sign. But as he was about to say WrestleMania, he said WrestleMania, and then Jey Uso super kicked him in the face. I don't know why, I just thought it was funny to hear someone say, I'm going to WrestleMania, like being interrupted of saying WrestleMania. It just sounded funny. And then we had Apollo go one-on-one with Shinsuke Nakamura. And this was Apollo's official heel turn. This is when Apollo officially became a heel. Shinsuke Nakamura would pin Apollo. Apollo would attack Shinsuke after the match. Big E would come. And then Apollo would grab the steel steps and he would smash Nakamura and Big E with it. And then he was about to slam them on Big E, but Big E rolled out to the outside, but then Apollo threw them onto Big E on the outside. Now I don't know if he got him in the leg or he got him in the head. I think it got him in the legs. But you know, who knows? But either way, Apollo is now officially a heel. And I like it. I like that he's a heel now. At least they actually explained Apollo's heel turn. At least they gave us at least they gave him motivation for his heel turn. They gave him motivation for his heel turn. Unlike the other heel turn that we saw later on. We see Seth Rollins come to the ring. Some people are saying he's a babyface. I don't think so. I think Seth is still a heel. Seth came out. He was getting upset because about the wrestlers walking out on him in his debut, in his return, sorry. And then he talked about Cesaro. And he wants everybody to embrace his vision. So that's really all that happened there. We had Natalya and Tamina take on the Riot Squad. Billie Kay would cause a distraction. And then Tamina and Natalya would beat the crap out of her. I really don't know. I really don't understand what they're doing with this storyline, to be perfectly honest. I think it's a bit weird. So then we had the second edition of Ding Dong Hello. We had the second edition of Ding Dong Hello with Bayley. The special guests were Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Seriously, this is way more entertaining than any other talk show. Seriously, this is way more entertaining than than Miz TV and Moment of Bliss and Alexa's Playhouse. Seriously, this is way more entertaining than any of those segments. over on Monday Night Raw. But I digress. Nia and Shayna were talking crap about Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Reginald, for some reason, would come out and he'd start defending Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair would also come out, and this would end up leading to a 6-person tag match with Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Bayley versus Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, and Reginald. Yes, Reginald joined in this match. And Reginald was the one that got the pin. He pinned Nia Jax due to Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair dropping a drop kick on Nia Jax. And Reginald would pin Nia Jax. Why was Corey Graves against Reginald? He was shouting, "No, no, 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 no!" as Reginald was pinning Nia Jax. This dude is Carmella's Chevalier. This dude is Carmella's Chevalier, and he's actually against her? All the other times when he was begging Reginald to save Carmella's ass against Sasha Banks, every other time, Reginald has saved Carmella so many times, and he's all like, "Do something, Reginald! Do something! Save Carmella! Do something, Reginald!" And now all of a sudden it's an issue. Now all of a sudden it's a problem because Reginald isn't hanging around with Carmella. Can they make things consistent, please? I know Reginald wants to make peace with Sasha Banks. I understand the story that they're going with here, but can you at least make it make sense? Reginald is Carmella's Chevalier, and you got Corey Graves out on commentary being all salty that he won. Makes no sense to me. And speaking of Carmella, she gets upset at Reginald for tag teaming with Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. He also had her champagne. She drinks it, then she spits it out. She's mad, and then she shoves it in Reginald's face and leaves. So they're building tension between Carmella and Reginald. And now we get to Dominic and Ray in a tag team match. They took on Otis and Chad Gable. The match ended by disqualification because Chad Gable didn't get out of the ring. Because of the rules of a tag team match is that if the illegal partner doesn't get out of the ring at the count of 5, the match ends by disqualification. So Chad didn't get out of the ring, and all of a sudden we see this new side of Otis. Just out of nowhere, we see this new side of Otis. He's just destroying Rey Mysterio. He's slamming him, he's smashing him, he's body slamming him. He's even jumping off the top rope, splashing on top of him. So I'm getting the impression that Otis and Chad Gable have officially turned heel. Now, this heel turn makes no sense. This heel turn makes no sense because why? Why are they now all of a sudden heels? Is there a reason for this heel turn? Do they have any motivation for this heel turn? See, that's the problem here. At least with Apollo Crews, I can make sense of it. With Apollo Crews, I can actually see the heel turn coming because it was being built up that he was eventually going to turn. Otis and Chad, they just turned heel just because. Chad Gable's the new Big Show. This guy turns face and heel so many times. This guy turns so many times. This is Otis' first time as a heel. And by the way, Otis is a likable goof. Sure, not many people really like him. But I see potential in this team of Otis and Chad. But it just doesn't make sense for them to randomly be heels. And I'm going to say this right now. People may not agree with me, and that's perfectly fine. But in my opinion, Otis has not been the same since they took Mandy Rose from him. In my opinion, Mandy Rose was the sole reason why Otis was so successful, why he was so popular with the fans. And I know and I know this whole feud was kind of going through in the middle of the pandemic, but when the crowds were still there before the pandemic happened, you could see that the fans really cared about the storyline between Otis and Mandy and how people actually enjoyed it before the pandemic hit. Or throughout last year, before the pandemic ended up hitting. So to me, Otis and Mandy's angle kind of made Otis into, I wouldn't call him a star, but it really elevated him. It really elevated him into a really likable good guy. And Mandy Rose turned babyface from it. Mandy Rose turned babyface from it as well. So, and I personally believe Mandy really helped this whole angle with Otis, and to me, it was such a good storyline. I really did enjoy the storyline between Otis and Mandy. They didn't really do much with it after the whole conclusion. They didn't do much with it after the conclusion, after Otis finally won the girl, and she kissed him. They didn't really do much with it after. Then it just really became all about Sonya and Mandy, and then when that whole angle ended between Mandy and Sonya, they just did not do anything with them beyond that. And I personally feel like Otis and Mandy, they had so much potential as a really interesting duo, but they just didn't do much with it. As soon as Mandy's stunt with Sonya was over, it just turned into The Miz sending her to Monday Night Raw, sending Mandy to Monday Night Raw, and then everything just went downhill. Otis lost Tucker, and now Otis is a heel, and now I'm supposed to believe that this guy is now a bad guy? That's what I'm saying. This whole heel turn doesn't make sense. So I'm saying this whole heel turn just literally just came out of left field. There was no motivation behind it. There's no reason why Otis should turn heel. Maybe if Tucker, maybe the heel turn on Tucker the heel turn on Tucker might have made sense. Maybe Mandy, maybe Mandy didn't love him anymore. I mean, they didn't really give any reason. Like I said, it's kind of hard to tell what the conclusion would have been because they sent Mandy to Raw. Tucker turned heel. They didn't really do anything with Tucker and Otis's storyline. Tucker just turned heel, and that was that. No feud between the two of them. Tucker turned heel. That's it. So they really didn't do much with Otis's angle with Tucker. So now I'm supposed to believe that Otis is a heel. Now I'm supposed to believe that this guy is a bad guy now. He lost his girl. He lost his partner. He lost his Money in the Bank briefcase. Is that his motivation for turning heel? Is that his motivation? He lost his old partner. He lost his girlfriend. And he lost his briefcase. If that was the case, they really should have built towards him getting frustrated that he lost everything. That's what they should have done. You need to build to someone turning. You need to build towards someone getting frustrated that they've lost something. If they wanted to turn Otis heel, that's what I would have done. I would have built frustration that he lost his girlfriend. He lost his prized girlfriend that he worked so hard to win over. He lost his prize Money in the Bank that he won. and he lost his best friend. If that was the motivation they wanted to go for him for a heel turn, I would have been all for it. I would have said, okay, I can see that. But this heel turn just came completely out of nowhere. No motivation, no nothing. It's just, he's a heel now. Now, I'm not trying to say Otis would be a bad heel. I'm not saying, oh, I think he wouldn't be a good heel. He could be a good heel, but you need to give me a reason. You have to give me a reason why this happens. You can't just say, yep, this person's a bad guy now. That's why I'm saying they should have given Otis motivation for him to finally snap and become a bad guy. So in my personal opinion, Mandy Rose really made Otis into the superstar, into a popular superstar, in my personal opinion. And Otis hasn't been the same since they took her from him, in my personal opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but it's just my opinion. And then we had a 6-man tag. It was Bryan, Owens, and Cesaro against Uso, Sami, and King Corbin. Bryan would get the victory for the team. He would tap out Sami Zayn to the yes lock. And this leads to Corbin hitting the end of days on Bryan. Kevin Owens giving him the stunner. Jey Uso giving him a super kick. Edge was at ringside. He would come in and deliver a spear to Jey. And then Roman would appear out of nowhere and spear Edge as the show goes off the air. Yep, we are going to be getting Roman Reigns versus Edge at WrestleMania. You can just see it coming. You can just see it coming a mile away. They're going to have Edge pick Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Oh boy. Looks like our worst nightmares are coming true. Anyway guys, that is all I've got for you guys for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. And I will see you all next time.